I'm a mother of 4 children, my son and 3 girls. And my oldest girl, Sophia, has Down syndrome. We were able to find out about Sophia having Down syndrome while I was still pregnant with her.
We were mostly worried about trying to figure out if it was a boy or a girl. At the ultrasound, they identified something unusual in her heart, and a few weeks later we found out she had Down syndrome.
And it was a bit of a shocking diagnosis. It was one that was given to us by the doctor in the delivery room in a passing comment. So turns your world upside down immediately.
Our family doctor, he reacted kind of funny. He had a cousin with Down syndrome, but when he told us it was just kind of cut and dried, and then we just left. We were kind of in tears because we didn't know what that would mean.
There are a number of health problems that go along with Down syndrome. There tends to be a higher likelihood of heart defects. There tends to be a lot of hearing problems that go along with Down syndrome.
Not every child with Down syndrome has a heart defect, but every child with Down syndrome has learning difficulties at some level.
I'm a nurse, so I knew some of the physical things that might be a problem. But I knew that she'd have a hard time learning, maybe not be able to learn at all.
For the longest time, when parents of individuals with Down syndrome found out about their diagnosis, they were usually told that this was, in a way, a life sentence.
And if they were to ask, well, how much do we understand about that? The physician would say, not a lot. It's complicated with this 3rd chromosome, and no research had been done.
This idea of independence, this idea of opportunities, is something that is completely new. This is not something that existed even 10 years ago.
There were a number of factors that influenced this revolution.
12 years ago, the entire human genome was mapped.
And once we understood that chromosome, we were able to understand more about the things that could affect individuals with Down syndrome.
When we get these press releases from Johns Hopkins or from Stanford and it shows real promise, that's exciting.
This revolution has the chance to change the way that we view an individual with Down syndrome. No longer do we view them as a diagnosis. We view them as an individual with potential.
The most of all, I like to be a movie star, an actress, superstar, rock star. That's my childhood dreams.
We're seeing these tremendous medical advancements, and what that brings us to now is what can we do for these individuals cognitively to allow them to achieve their own goals, their own dreams, their own hopes.
The LuMind Foundation is stepping up to change the playing field for those of us who are living with Down syndrome. They have stepped up with a bold, powerful, aggressive approach that targets research on the most critical areas of cognition, memory, speech, and the early onset of Alzheimer's disease. And the race is on because there is no time to lose. No time to let up. It is my generation that's showing what's possible because of the hard work of the generations before us. But it is also my generation that's marching directly into the ugly path of Alzheimer's disease. It is a huge black cloud that hangs over us and our families. That is why your support is very important to us. We need you to help us financially. We also need you to raise your voices and become advocates for Down syndrome, to help spread the word and create a groundswell of support for the critical and timely work of LuMind Foundation. We need to pull together and help LuMind prevent the early onset of Alzheimer's disease for those of us with Down syndrome. If not LuMind, then who? If not you, then who?